We have to think much more carefully about how do we prepare humans for the future that does not look like our past.
What's left? I mean, we've already automated a lot of life, haven't we?
It would be increasingly difficult to find meaningful, well-paid employment when machines are starting to do most of the things that we currently think of as work. If you think about, for example, just building a house, right? The majority of the cost of a house is the labor involved in building it, and it takes a long time to build a house. With a team of highly skilled robots who can work 24 hours a day, it might be done in a week and a half and cost less than a car.
I really think that our society is facing a big challenge here, that if we start to decouple people's economic existence from having a job, right? Because that's the decoupling. We have to think about how do we make people's existence sustainable and also bearable, that it has at least a minimum quality of existence, while they seek activities that are relevant and interesting to them and their environment.
I think the impact on jobs will be significant, but as a society, as humans, we're very good at predicting what will go away, but we're not good at predicting what will appear. And I think there will be an amazing number of new jobs that we haven't even thought about.
We also have to, of course, acknowledge that our whole education system is still stuck in that industrial revolution, preparing people for jobs. They don't prepare people for a meaningful existence. And that's the shift we have to make.
You might call it human engineering, if you like, so the study of how one person can make another person's life better. And it seems to me that's the primary route that will rescue us from a world where people are basically fed and housed and entertained and have no function anymore.
What you're going to see in the future is that even though, what we call a machine is very much an entity that knows a lot, that has cognition, that has perception, but it can also jump into different embodiments. It can sit in your phone if you travel, and it can jump into your autonomous car and drive you somewhere, and then it goes back into the phone, and then it goes in your home and it takes care of your home and so on.
They will increasingly be physical robots, but I think that's going to take longer than people think. First of all, to do useful things, robots, they have to be able to move quickly, they have to be powerful, and that means they're dangerous, potentially. Robots right now are made out of steel and aluminum, and if you run into them, it's not good. And so we need materials that are more human-like, and I think that probably will happen at some point. Soft robots, basically.
I doubt that we will choose to have a radically different style of life than the style that we would have if we could afford it now. Executive assistant, a housekeeper, or this or that. Most people on Earth can have robot servants.
Right now, there is just one product that is a robot that's widely used in the home. It's a vacuum cleaner. What comes after the vacuum? Something that cooks your meal? They already have ovens on the market that look at what you put in it and cook them correctly. That's an example of consumer AI, and I discussed that with my wife, and she just rolls her eyes.
I have a 1-year-old son. Will he ever drive?
In 15 years, I think there's a good chance that driving will just not be a thing. Particularly in cities, I suspect that there'll be regulations saying that you have to use the automated vehicles. It may become illegal to drive yourself except in certain maybe rural roads or off-road situations.
Silicon Valley likes to believe that the cars will be safer and we'll be able to get rid of all the parking spaces, and so we'll have this new green space and it will be wonderful. I think that there's a good chance that the self-driving car, if it comes, will actually lead to more congestion rather than less, and people haven't thought about that because everybody wants to travel at the same time. People will send their cars on errands. That's going to happen when you send your car off shopping? And you know that will happen.
For most of history, most people have been used as robots.
There's this category of worker in American industry called a lumper, and those are the people who load and unload trucks. There are very few of them left, and if that job category went away entirely, I don't think it would be a bad thing.
There's no reason other than political and social failure that we can't all have a really good standard of living, and we don't have to be robots anymore.
Career will be all about being meaningful and useful. And this might be expressed in many different ways. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you clock in every morning at 8 o'clock at your job. There are many other ways to be meaningful.
We would all be adding value to each other's lives, whatever it might be that constitutes the value of living for people.